I am excited to welcome Cassandra Wheeler to the Hope Coach podcast. She is a licensed physical therapist with over 30 years of experience working with people performing functional life skills, primarily senior adults. She was introduced to CrossFit in 2014 and immediately fell in love with the functionality of the sport. Since then, she's dreamed of merging her love of physical therapy, CrossFit, and senior adults. She has always believed that disease and loss of independence does not have to accompany the aging process. It requires intentional living. As a coach of the master's class, she is living out her passion for teaching others how to move well and to accomplish things they never thought possible at any age. She believes fitness has no age limits. So, Cassandra, I'm so glad you're here, and I look forward to you telling us more about what you're currently doing and this whole idea about functional training for independence and confidence with aging. It sounds like such a great topic.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. It's such an honor to be on your show, and I appreciate you asking me to come on here and just share. I'm very passionate about seniors and living well because I believe that we have a lot of choices that we can make and a lot of things that we can do to combat the aging process that we all go through. I think that there's a lot of ways that we can do that, and we do have some choices. And so that's what I'm all about. And yes, functional training. It's kind of a buzzword. It's a word that we used a lot in physical therapy school. You can't get paid for the insurance unless it is functional with what you're doing. And so it's been a word that's been a part of my life for many years, but really it just means it's everyday tasks. It's things that you do all the time. They're very natural to us as human beings. We use more than one joint at a time, more than one muscle, and they're very safe. Like I said, it's things that we do every day. The founder of CrossFit, his name is Greg Glassman, and he has one of my favorite quotes. He says that the needs of Olympic athletes and our grandparents differ by degrees, not kinds.
Mm.
And that basically means that we all need to be doing the same things. We need to be picking things up from the floor. We need to be getting up and down from a chair, from the floor. We need to be putting things overhead. We have to push things. We have to pull things.
Mhm.
And so when you train in that manner, you build up your strength and ability to continue doing those things. So we all need to be doing it. Just what we're doing at 85 is not maybe what we're doing at 20.
Mhm. That's awesome. And I know as you have explained to me, you have some focuses within what you do. So can you help our listeners understand some of that more?
Yes. As we age, there are some specific things that are really important for seniors to do. I wouldn't necessarily say pillars, and it's not an all inclusive list, but it's kind of my top three things that I really like to focus on in my functional fitness class. And they are strength training, balance training, and mobility training. If your exercise program is not including those things, you need to consider adding those in because they're so important for seniors to be able to do.
Those are great focuses. I love to hear more about those. Would you tell us a little bit more? I know we hear a good bit about strength training. That's a big one. That's a buzzword almost, but can you explain it more to us?
Absolutely. Strength training is something that I actually like to say it's the new cardio. Because back in the day, you heard, oh, you got to get your cardio, you got to get your cardio in.
Mhm.
Now you might be hearing the buzzword of strength training because we
Mhm.
found out there's so many benefits of strength training that maybe we didn't realize that we actually had the benefit of. So for instance, strength training actually improves your cardiovascular system, your heart and your lungs, just by strength training and having more muscle. It can improve that. It also improves your ability to metabolize sugar. Your insulin levels can improve just by strength training because after the age of 40, we all are starting to lose muscle mass,
Mhm.
and that's known as sarcopenia. Dr. Peter Attia was mentioning the other day in a podcast, around the age of 70 to 75, there's a huge drop in our
Mhm.
muscle mass just through the aging process. So if we're not doing something intentional to
Yeah.
overcome that deep dive of loss of muscle,
Mhm.
then we're just getting weaker and weaker as we age. And it's not necessary to have such a deep dive. If you're doing some strength training, you're lifting things that are heavy, you can kind of balance out that line a little bit. Also, we all know, I think the benefits of strength training are increased bone density, especially as women. We are more apt to get osteoporosis, where we fall and break a bone. Well, if you're strength training, you're actually improving your bone density. Also, it decreases frailty. If you are strength training, you're stronger, you're able to overcome illnesses and maybe some minor injuries. But if you're strong on the other side of it, you can overcome and you'll recover a lot faster. Also, strength training, it improves your mood and your confidence. You know, one of the benefits of strength training is I love to see the confidence that my athletes have when they go over there and they deadlift 65 pounds. You know, they're like, man, and they're telling their children, and it really just lights up their face. And they are like, I'm not frail. I don't have to be frail. I don't have to feel like, oh, I'm just old. No, you can be strong at any age, but it takes intentional effort.
That's very encouraging. I'm loving hearing this, and I think our listeners are going to really be encouraged as well, because it does affect us whenever we start to think that there's just this decline. But yet you're saying there's so many things that people can do that are going to at least start to level that out, if maybe even improve.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what physical therapy is, but we work with people of all ages. But even in my functional fitness class, my oldest athlete is 83 years old,
Wow.
and he was able to improve on his initial deadlift. So, and all my folks across the board, we just did an 8-week assessment. I did an initial assessment and an 8-week training. And by the end, each of them were lifting 10 to 15 pounds more than what they did on the first assessment day of the deadlift.
Great.
And these are people that have been with me for about a year, maybe 2
That's
years.
wonderful.
So even after training 1 to 2 years, they were still able to improve 10 to 15 pounds in a deadlift. So it's anyone can increase strength if you're intentional to it.
Well, and I know too, it's related not just our physical fitness, but even to like our nervous system and our memory. I know you've
Yes.
mentioned before it's super helpful towards that. So can you address that? I know that's a
Yes.
concern for many of our aging listeners.
Yes. They have found that by doing strength training, it can change your wiring in your brain. We call it neuroplasticity. And
Hmm.
it helps us with brain health and brain function. And they have even found that they've actually found that strength training can stave off Alzheimer's and dementia. And it improves our memory, attention, our executive functioning. So it really has a lot of benefits. We're not trying to get these folks, you know, in in a body competition test or anything like that. Some kind of, we're not trying to look like a, bikini model or anything. We're just trying to live well. And there's so many benefits to the strength training.
Yes, great points. I love that.
Mhm.
I know you mentioned, so this was about the strength training, and then one of the other components there is about your balance training. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. So in our program, we do, we focus a lot on balance. And a lot of the things that we do are for balance. When you have to bend over and pick up a bag of dog food, maybe you have a big dog, or even if you have a little dog, just a bag of dog food can be pretty heavy. I think they come in like 15-pound bags, maybe 20-pound bags. Picking that up from the ground or the bottom shelf, you have to have balance to be able to pick that up and not fall over. Maybe balance to pick it up and put it in to your cart, your grocery cart,
Right.
or maybe get it out of your car when you get home, and then you have to carry it into the house, and then you have to put it down in the garage or wherever else you keep your dog food. So balance is very important, and it's required throughout all those activities that we do, but we like to really hone in on that balance. We have our nerves in our feet, right? We have our eyes contribute, our vision contributes to our balance, and also our inner ear. And so it's really important that you train all those systems, because as we get older, our vision's not as good. And what do we need to rely a little bit more on our sensation in our feet and that vestibular system that's on inside the inner ear. If the lights are off, you
Mm.
know, when it's dark out. You have to rely a little bit more on that sensation in your feet and your inner ear because your vision's not giving you the input for what you need for balance. So we
Mhm.
like to practice all of those things in our class. We do things with our eyes closed. We stand on soft surfaces. We take our shoes off. We stand on one leg. We throw things at each other while we're standing on one leg. We
Wow.
really challenge our balance. And you know, a lot of my folks will come and we'll be doing the agility ladder and like, I haven't done this since I was a kid. They all say, oh, you know, kids have such great balance because they practice it. And so, you know, one of my new favorite quotes is practice the things you don't want to lose. And so if you think about that, oh, I don't want to lose my ability to step up a curb and not lose my balance, or I don't want to lose my ability to bend over and pick up my grandchildren or to get on the floor. All of those things, yeah. And so balance is something that you actually need to practice to stay good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know one of the dangers to not having a good balance would be falls, which is
Yes.
sadly very common with, you know,
Yes.
aging patients or clients. So,
Unfortunately, it's actually the leading cause of accidental death over the age of
mm,
65.
mm,
Every year, 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 fall. And unfortunately, 50% of those will never return back to their prior level of function. So it can be a devastating situation to have a fall. If your muscle mass isn't there, your bone density is not there, and you have a fall, your chances of recovery are a lot less. And so we're
mm,
training. I can't promise you you'll never fall, but if you do fall, you're going to recover a lot better
mm,
if you're strong, if you've been practicing your balance.
which is encouraging in itself.
Yes, it's all
Mhm.
about the training. It's very specific. I mean, my folks come and every time they come, we're doing something different. No day looks the same when they come because there are so many different things that we need to practice.
Mhm.
And we're practicing all of these things like skipping. Skipping is something that they're like, well, I've not done this in so long. I haven't skipped since I was a little kid. But skipping requires power,
Mhm.
standing on one leg, moving, bouncing. You know, it's a fun thing, but it's something that when's the last time you skipped?
It's a good
So it's
question.
really helpful. But if you trip over your if you're practicing skipping and your grandchild leaves a toy in the middle of the floor and you trip over it, you are more likely to not fall because you've been practicing that technique than if you haven't been.
Very good. And that leads right into that third component, the mobility training that you've talked about
Mhm.
as well. Important it is.
Mobility. Yeah, what I mean by mobility is just transitioning from place to place, like in and out of a car, in and out of a bathtub, in and out of a shower, and on and off the floor. We get down on that floor almost every time they come to class, at minimum once a week. We're down
Mm.
on the floor, getting up and down, and you should do it often. I like to tell my folks there's just because you're getting older doesn't mean that you have to make concessions. A concession is, well, I'm old. I shouldn't
Mm.
have to get on. I don't have to get on the floor. Oh, I can't get on the floor anymore. Well, try it because if you're getting up and down from the floor and unfortunately, you have a fall,
Mm.
can you get back up? Because a lot of times those statistics that I told you, the recovery rate, the accidental deaths are from when people fall and they can't get up and they lay there for 2 days without their family knowing that they're fallen. It's because they can't get up. They haven't practiced the getting up part. But if you're accustomed to it and you fall out in the middle of the parking lot, or usually it's in the bathroom or next to the bed where people fall, do you know how to get up? And you've practiced it. It's going to be a lot easier and it can change your life really.
You know, those little grands or children, whichever it might be, they love for you to get down on their floor
Yes,
with them.
absolutely. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get down on the floor. Everyone should be able to get down on the floor and get back up. And we practice different techniques, and everybody's at a different level. There are some people that require a box to kind of work their way down and work their way back up. But there are others that we are practicing sitting down and standing up on the floor without using our hands.
Wow.
So we have different levels that we work at, and you should continue to try to improve that situation all the time. get down on that floor. It improves your flexibility, strength, balance. It does all of those things.
So I love what my grands like to call it Gigi Day, and that's part of it. Is we get down and we do all the things they're wanting to do, and I'm grateful for the time that I have with them, but I want to extend it, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
These ideas are wonderful. I know you mentioned a couple times your community and some of that. Can you tell us a bit
Yeah.
more about that?
Yes, and on my notes, I kind of have it highlighted as an honorable mention that yes, we need to do strength training, we need to do balance training, we need to do mobility training, but almost as important, we need to have community. You need to be in community. Seniors need people. They need to have people that are cheering them on, just like us. I mean, we need people, right? People need people. I think that's the saying. Also, having community in our group, the motivation that they see. We have some that are 81. I have a lady right now, an athlete that's 81 years old, and she outdoes most people in our class. And she's such an inspiration to everyone. They're like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I love it when they kind of get a little competition going on, just seeing, hey, they're capable of it. Maybe I'm capable of that too. And also, there's just something about, if you know anything about CrossFit or even just really group fitness, shared suffering. And I don't want to make it like we're suffering in class because we do a lot of laughing and cutting up and having a good time. But when Sally's over there, she's sweating and giving it all she has. It makes you kind of want to give all you have too. And then it brings this community, this unity together. One of my athletes today just told me that before my class, she really didn't have community. She had close friends, but she didn't have a community. And so I think that's just so important as we age, especially for the seniors. Many of my athletes live alone. And if they don't show up for class, I'm on the phone asking them, where are they at? Why aren't they in class? Are you okay? Just having that someone to check up on you. And they all want to know, hey, where's so and so? I haven't seen them in a couple weeks. Are they okay? So there's so many great benefits of just being a part of a community. And that's what CrossFit is really known for, is the community that it creates. And we have that in our functional fitness class.
I love that. I love that you have created this. It's a really, really sweet spot for people to get involved and to have a community and the support that they need. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's a blessing to me.
Yeah.
I love it.
You bless them, so it's mutual. That's really
It
good.
is. It's been my passion. I mean, since I was a little kid, I think it was maybe ninth grade, but I wanted to be the nurse that got to walk the patients.
Oh,
Later found out that that was a physical therapist.
mhm.
And I really enjoy just encouraging people and being a cheerleader and teaching people the things that they didn't know they could do. I had someone just last week that was able to finally get down on the floor and get back up without using a box. And they were
Oh,
so excited that they just didn't think that they would ever get to that level. But
mhm.
just being able to see them do that, it makes us all happy. So
Yeah, very rewarding, I'm sure, in the role that you're in.
it
And
is.
I just think, I believe the first time that I really got to know you was whenever you were providing physical therapy for my father-in-law, which is many years ago.
Many, many years
Many
ago.
years ago.
All the girls were, you only had two, Kayla
Little
and
kid.
Emily, the
Mhm.
little blondes. I remember
Mhm.
them.
That's right. That's been quite a long time ago. Wow. Yes, many years ago. So I've gotten to watch you do this from that side of it, and then watching this develop in what you're doing now, it's just really, it's amazing. I'm really glad to see that you're offering this to our community, and I'm
Yeah.
thankful for you doing that. Now,
Thank
do
you.
you have any tips for us, just like for the listeners who, whether they're ready for your program or maybe they just need to do a few things at home or whatever the tips are that you can help encourage them with? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Um, First of all, I want you to know you're never too old to start. Anyone can start. I have a lady that just joined our class. She's 80 years old, has not done any group training at
Mm,
all, but she knew she needed it, so she joined us. But you're never too old to start. You can start where you are. Um, you can just start with, maybe it might just be doing some walking, getting out and walking for 15 minutes a couple times a week. And then something I didn't really talk about, but some of the things that are functional are like just sitting down in a chair and standing back up.
mhm,
Sit down, stand back up. See if you can do that 10 times. If that's
mhm.
easy, take that chair away and just squat down as if you're sitting in the chair, but it's not going to be there. You just come down close to where the chair was and stand back up. You could do 10 of those. You also can pick up some things from the floor. It might even just be a gallon of milk. Put a gallon of milk on the floor and just stand up with it and put it back down. Stand back up with it and put it back down. That is a deadlift. So deadlift is just picking things up from the floor. I prefer you to work your way up to getting heavy, but it doesn't have to be heavy in the beginning. So really starting small, I'm going to work out 5 days a week and I'm going to do it for an hour. That's setting you up for failure. But really just starting small, maybe 2 days a week, say, I'm going to go walk for 15 minutes, maybe just down to the end of the road and back. And then when I come in, I'm going to do 10 squats and then see how that goes. Then next week, add a little bit more. You might go over to your kitchen counter and just do a couple of push-ups on the kitchen counter, maybe 5 push-ups on your kitchen counter. So you do your walk, come back, do 10 squats, and then do your 5 push-ups. And then next week, you might go for a 20-minute walk and then come back and do your push-ups and your squats. And then you're picking up your milk jug from the floor. And now you've got a whole little workout that might take you 30 minutes. And if you did that 2 times a week and then increase it to 3 times a week. So I think doing it small and not thinking of this grandiose plan that I've got to change. It's January. Everybody's jumping in. Like, I got to change my life. I got to do this fitness program. But so many people fail by February because they've taken on too much of a chunk. It's really just about, for me, and working with the senior population, it's about moving, staying moving. And again, like I said, the strength training is huge. It's really important. We want to walk. Walking is great. Cardio's still in. Cardio's not out. I still believe in cardio. And in our class, what we do is we might perform some things that are just take a little bit of time, but a lot of effort. That's called a deadlift, where we might do three deadlifts and it takes us 20 seconds. But we've given all we had during that 20 seconds. But then we also do things that might take 1 to 2 minutes. And so that gives us a little bit more oxygen, but we're also working hard for 2 minutes. And then we do things that, like today, we had what we call a 20-minute AMRAP, which is we worked for 20 minutes back and forth, and they were doing with a partner, but they worked hard for 20 minutes and they got their heart rate going. And so we do a little bit of variety of that. And I encourage, do things for short periods of time, do things for long periods of time. And the amount of effort you put in each of those obviously is going to be different. You can't go hard for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Your effort is going to be a little bit less, but you're going to go long and slow, but you can also go short and fast. And so I think everyone should include that in their exercise program. That might be a little more advanced for you guys, but if you need some assistance in planning that, I'm always available. I have room in my class and would love for anyone over the age of 65 to join us. If you're not 65, you're welcome to come to CrossFit 1075. We have availability for that class. We have 5 to 6 classes a day. So there are lots of opportunities for anyone of any age. We even have a kids class. So with kids, we have all ages available. So either, join a gym or find somebody. If you're a little bit gun shy about what you need to do to kind of get started, you can, again, come see us at CrossFit 1075.
So if you would like to work with Casandra, you can reach out to her. Her contact information is in the show notes below. She has her email and even her direct phone number. And I believe it will be a blessing to you, no matter what age. As you said, you've got it for all the different ages. But I would love to see more people working with that senior group. That just sounds so encouraging because there's such a need for that in our areas. And then tell us a little bit about what your future plans are.
Yes. So I've been a homeschool mama for the last 12 years. My son is in 11th grade and he doesn't need me as much. And so I am branching out and I'm going to start seeing one-on-one physical therapy patients, primarily 65 plus, so the Medicare population. but I'll also be able to see one-on-one physical therapy patients or just even one-on-one training patients. If you are feeling like you're not quite ready to jump into that group, I'd be happy to work with you one-on-one for a little while and then we'll slide you on into the group. But if you also need more specific physical therapy, I'm going to be opening my own very small practice where you'll be able to come and receive my services there.
Okay. Awesome. This is such great news. I'm really thankful that you're providing these things, and I'm just excited to see exactly where all this leads. I'm sure it will be a blessing to many, and I'm looking forward to hearing all the great testimonies from it. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Stephanie, for your encouragement. You've always been so encouraging to me, and I really appreciate you taking the time to let me share my passion with your audience.
Well, thank you.